When Graham and I were growing up, we used to make a few short films, and Graham enjoyed making fight scenes to go with that. And one of the things that we did in 2008 was we made a feature film with a bunch of friends. Now, back then we didn't really have much of an idea as to what we were doing, but we did enjoy it.
I worked a little bit with the Noble brothers prior to this on some of their earlier forays into filming, with mixed results.
Upon reflection, we think that film was pretty horrible, but there were a few positives to come out of it. And one of the main positives was Graham and I thought, well, perhaps we could step it up a little bit and create our own film group. We had considered working with other people, but that wasn't really something that was going to work because people didn't seem to have the same motivation as we did. So in February 2009, we decided that we would create Noble Brothers Productions.
We're based in Aberdeen in Scotland, and we've been making films since about 2008, but we actually started the film group in 2009 when we decided to take it seriously.
With us being Christians, we wanted to become a Christian film group that portrayed Christianity in a realistic way in the 21st century. So that's something that was a drive and a desire for us to form this group.
I think it's important, especially today, in a world that rejects the church and Christianity, that we have these sort of films, that we have this type of media that glorifies God and tells people not to forget that God loves us and that important message behind it.
We thought that we could create films and incorporate the Christian faith into the films,
as well as the possibility to make entertaining films with some good action scenes.
In April that year, we shot The Hope Within. We spent several months shooting it. We finished it in August. We had 60 reshoots because we were learning. It was fun though.
The Hope Within was about a young man who was searching for God. Michael Wallace was lost. He was involved in crime. He didn't know where he was going.
The overall storyline of the movie, I feel, is really good.
The Christian message was a recurrent theme throughout the film, but I thought it was very tactfully and very tastefully dealt with because it wasn't like in your face.
I've been praying a lot and I feel I'm ready to go into church with a confidence in Christ.
The writing is strong, the characters are strong, there's good character development, punctuated by action. You know, there's good action scenes that are involved with the pacing in a very good way.
I joined the group for The Hope Within back in 2009 for the smaller role of Man with Briefcase. It was my first acting role and I really enjoyed doing it.
The first filming experience I had with Noble Brothers Productions seemed to be a bit bizarre. I had never filmed before. I'd never done any acting. It was totally out of character. But I enjoyed it.
I made friends with Graham online and I was in Aberdeen, so decided to take part in the film. The first scene we did was a fight scene, which was my first fight scene that I'd ever done, which was interesting.
I remember the car stunt at the end of the film where Tom Sislak gets hit by a car.
Now, I'm told that this was originally my idea. I don't remember that bit so much.
That was a little bit dangerous, and let's just say he's a very, very brave man.
I've always been fairly keen to perform things like that. A little bit of risk and danger. I do that. Let's get a look. I quite enjoyed it once I got into it. I think I was a little bit surprised that we were going to include this initially. Graham got around quite neatly. There were a couple of cut edits in there.
We did a good job, I think, and I nailed some of the stuff I was doing.
The Hope Within went on to qualify for the Phoenix International Christian Film Festival in America, which was a great achievement for that film. The film festival in Phoenix had a lot of big budget films, and we were definitely the smallest budget film there. So it was a great achievement to qualify for that.
He was unbelievable. The stare, the manliness, it overtook me.
What did he do to make you like this?
He punched me, he did a snake move on me.
Towards the end of The Hope Within, we shot Golden Boy, which was a fun project, and the filmmaking's pretty bad, but it was our first shot at comedy, and we shot it in a week, and it was fun.
Well, let me start. I'm good looking, I'm charming, I've got lots of wit, every woman loves me, every man wants to be me, what more could I say?
At one point, Graham actually did uppercut me in the jaw, which was quite sore. But Graham got a bruised knuckle as well, so I didn't feel so bad.
I'll lend you the VHS if you want.
VHS? Don't you have it in DVD format?
No. Well, I think the third one is.
In December 2009, we shot A School by Hour production. That was a sort of comedy, action-y sort of film.
I think I flippantly suggested that I wear my kilt, just as a little, eccentricity. And this idea was picked up as being a good idea. So that is what I ended up wearing when I met up with the rest of the crew at the shoot. The wisdom of wearing a kilt in that weather for that scene, debatable.
In fact, it was incredibly cold most of the time. I got my infamous slap on the face, which was not the best. When it was freezing cold, that really, really hurt.
The stakeout never fails.
I'm just on my way to my aerobics class. It's great fun.
Not anymore, pal.
Another fun project that we did in 2010 was A Snake Move series.
We shot 6 films from January 2010 till January 2011.
The Snake Move series was interesting to film. It was, I think, the first thing I filmed with the Noble Brothers.
That can be arranged.
We put this together, and 6 films later we had a series. It's not something we take seriously, but a lot of people found it very funny, and even though the production values are shambolic, it's still very amusing to watch.
Groupie when we go on our chess tours. Listen, guys, this woman is apparently a fashion model and leading fashion magazines in the country. Fashion?
Chess Club was the first film which I was involved in Noble Brothers, and it's probably still one of my favourites. I don't know if just because of that or just because it's quite funny as well.
I played a mugger in Chess Club, and I had to mug Graham's character. Accidentally, I punched him in the stomach.
Just punch him.
And then I fell, so I quite enjoyed it, apart from embarrassing myself.
I know what will cheer us up. What? A game of chess.
It's an enjoyable game.
In 2010, our main feature film was Unconditional Love.
That was about a young Christian teenage girl who was abducted and experimented on by a group of criminals that were basically out to try and become the most powerful drug organisation in the world. So we were considering branching out with a lot of themes in that film, and it was quite good to put that together.
It's a fight between good and evil, light and darkness, and light shines through in the end.
In Unconditional Love, we actually filmed with some celebrities in Hong Kong. We filmed with Juju Chan, who is a Hollywood and Hong Kong actress, and we also filmed with Stephen Daz, who is currently filming alongside Jackie Chan in Operation Condor 3, aka Chinese Zodiac.
I remember when we were sitting watching the Unconditional Love and the toilet fight between Graham Noble and Stuart Taylor finished, and there was pretty much close enough to a standing ovation.
That was quite interesting. I enjoyed that moment.
It was a really good experience though. We got to kind of mess around a lot with what we were doing. I think it turned out pretty well.
It still stands up today as one of the best we've done, even though I was not involved. But
it's a gritty fight. There's good camera work, good choreography, good execution.
It was very clear that the game had been upped and the demands on the cast were higher in terms of their output, and that reflected, I think, the increased demands that John William and Graham had put on themselves.
We had 18-hour days, which were a nightmare, but we managed to get through it. We had a lot of cast changes.
The challenges mainly for me was reshooting the same scene 4 times. The actresses kept on dropping out.
One of the main things that it showed for Graham and I and other people that were committed to our work is that we had a commitment and a dedication to get things done, even though it was difficult.
Yeah, so I quite like Unconditional Love. It's got a lot of action in it, and it was really good fun filming as well.
First film I did, and it was exciting and it was fun to watch as well.
You lost, gorgeous?
I'm exactly where I need to be.
You here for a modelling shoot? Might need to put a bit of slap on first.
So during 2010 we made Legion of Evil, which was a comedy film.
I think what makes Legion of Evil so funny is the variety of overstated characters who all have their personalities and their little things that they do.
Legion of Evil was interesting to film because I got to do my comedy voice for quite a lot of it.
It was not a project that we took seriously, but it was a very funny film. It was very over-the-top characters.
Single? Who's single?
Our friend Clint here and yourself. You're both recently widowed?
Widowed? What are you on?
Your wife, Carolina, after being murdered?
Was she? Oh, that explains why all the dishes have been piling up, eh?
I enjoyed the character that I played. He was a lot of fun, even though he was a bit over the top.
Leave that to the models, love. You stick to what you're good at.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Legion of Evil, it's quite funny and really unique as well, but there is a lot of serious messages within it as well.
There's a quite short fight scene, which we were getting on pretty well with until about halfway through, when Stuart Taylor wasn't looking where he was punching and he punched me right in the lip and burst my lip. And I was quite annoyed about this, as Graham would attest as well.
Obviously concerned for Martin, running over, make sure he was okay, really feeling guilty for the blood pouring out of his mouth. Graham decided to walk closer and make sure he really got the damage into shot.
There are a lot of great characters, lots of memorable scenes, a funny montage, good locations, good cast, good film.
It was just generally quite a relaxed atmosphere, and I think that was quite important because as our film work progressed, it became a lot more intense when we were trying to put together serious projects. So it was good to get a bit of a balance and just a way to have some more light-hearted fun when we were filming.
Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Oh, my.
Fear the Park was quite fun a lot of the time, but most of the time it was just very cold filming outside and a lot of snow, and yeah, it was quite hard to do sometimes.
I remember some of the filming days, the temperature was -5 degrees.
It was really cold though. It was a really bad winter. I liked my character. She was a good outfits, lots of nice hats.
And that was quite a fun project to film, even though it was bitterly cold in the snow.
So, what's the job?
Seduction.
A guy?
Yeah.
Single?
Attached.
Gold digger?
Possibly.
To be out in the cold for several hours, holding a camera, trying to direct, it was a nightmare.
What do you think of aircraft, Graham?
I like it. It's very good. I really like it. I really like it. It helps filming as well. I remember filming the finale of Fear the Park on Christmas Eve. John William had a sort of bad experience that day when he rolled down a hill and snow got down his back, and he continued filming the fight scene in those freezing conditions. I think it was -2 then.
Why is such a beautiful creature as yourself still on the market?
Well, I guess there's always some better girls available.
There's not anything wrong with you, is there?
What?
You're not one of these mad girls. Is this some setup?
Be My Valentine, I was actually, I think I was the lead female role in that, which had its ups and downs.
This awful experience. I'm leaving.
Let you off? Can't take the piss?
I won't be part of this farce anymore. I won't entertain some fantasy love routine with a shallow-minded pig.
Now who's making the snap judgments?
I wasn't prepared for Sean's accent through that, and it just came out, and I couldn't actually keep a straight face because he was really funny.
Hello! And welcome to the show tonight. Here we have Brenda. She's going to be our guest for this evening. Brenda, please tell me a bit about yourself because I would like to know.
In 2011, one of the first projects we did was a film called Boykie, and it was basically an action film with no storyline.
I really like Boykie as a film. I think it's quite funny, and John Williams' character is, I think, amusing and also intense.
Save it! The guy responsible for my release is gunning for my blood, and I want to eat him up and spit him out.
As an action-packed film, really good from start to finish, lots of fight scenes and everything.
It's a bit of a comedy film with some action, a lot of action thrown in.
It was a fun project to film. The plot consisted of fast-paced, pure action, really good fight scenes.
The first fight scene I've filmed with the Noble Brothers, and it was a good experience. I mean, we also had the fake blood and the death scene as well.
There's certainly one part where we had to do about 20 takes, I think, of the same shot, and I still wasn't getting it right. But I think Graham, through editing and angles, managed to make that look pretty good.
The last fight scene with John Williams, not only was it great fun, and the end was hilariously cheesy, and I loved the ending of Boykie.
One of the things I've really liked about being part of the group is the chance to do fight scenes. We practice the moves we're going to do pretty much on the spot, make up the fight as we go along almost. In some respects, I actually think that helps to give the fight quite a natural flow to it, so in that respect, it's good. I think one thing for me about doing a fight scene is I'm not afraid to throw myself around for them. I mean, you land a punch on me by accident, I'm not going to complain. You throw a punch and I'm supposed to fall down, I will throw myself down onto that floor as hard as possible if it makes it look good.
Cut!
When I think about the fighting that I've done on screen for NBP, I think when I started I wasn't very good at it, but I tried to put in quite a bit of practice and improve that way, and I watched quite a bit of on-screen fighting to see how people did it, and I feel within time I managed to improve quite a lot. And doing Boykie, which was our most successful film for a period in 2011, that was a challenge in the sense that I had a number of fight scenes to do in a short space of time.
The strong points in Boykie are the action, and the action's the best thing about the film.
Because Graham's such a talented action choreographer, it worked really well, and we qualified for the Action on Film Festival in California, and that was a big achievement because that is a prestigious film festival on any level.
I want to know why. I don't know what you're talking about. The only reason John's killer was arrested is because he convinced me not to kill it.
In July 2011, we made Bitter Love, starring Rachel Wheeler. It was the first film with a DSLR, and the filmmaking definitely enhanced because of that.
I really like Bitter Love. It's quite realistic, and it does have a good twist in it as well, which is quite unexpected. But I think it did take a different change into the sort of previous work which Noble Brothers had done, and it kind of explored a darker, deeper side.
I'm not going to go to prison for you. Police will give you what you deserve.
Business is booming! You ain't! You are my
what I decided to do for our big film in 2011, The Shadow of Death, was to put together a film that was covering a very serious Christian topic, but covering it in a psychological way, where instead of telling people what Christianity was about, it would engage people in certain questions about Christianity because of the nature of the content.
We shot The Shadow of Death over 6 months, and it went on to become a multi-award winning film, which we are all very proud of.
The characters in it are really well constructed. The storyline for it is good, and the script is really well written. The fight scenes are an exceptionally high standard, I think.
I think it works overall as a film very, very well in terms of the pacing and the excitement of the film, also combined with the quite deep spiritual themes of the film, which again work in tandem very well, and that's why it's been so successful, I think, because it's got that depth.
It was a film which dealt with the conflicts that Christians have to face because of their faith. It showed the human side of the Christian.
What ends up happening in the second half of the film is a brutal psychological attack on Christianity by this character, and how the Christian characters respond to this.
But have I not given you an opportunity to learn from a lack of trust in your God?
A lack of trust?
The man who reacts to difficulty with violence is not living the life of Jesus Christ.
The storyline keeps you quite interested. And there's one scene in particular, that I really liked. There was the dialogue between Graham and John William in the cafe. I believe that Graham's character was testing John William's faith.
Doesn't it feel a lot more natural for you right now to beat me until I bleed?
Of course, but I stop and think, what would Jesus do? And his life and example can guide me.
It's really good because the dialogue in particular, how it's executed, I think it's easily one of the best scenes that John William and Graham have done so far.
The film's storyline is very good. John William did a great job there, and our filmmaking came on leaps and bounds from Unconditional Love.
The Shadow of Death was an unashamedly Christian film. It was unashamedly apologetic for the Christian faith, and I felt the gospel itself, the good news of Jesus Christ, actually came through the film.
But such is the tremendous faith they have in Christ.
The story keeps you going and keeps you interested throughout the film, and I think it thoroughly deserves all the success it's had.
And I really hope that the people who watch it will realise just how religion, and Christianity in particular, can work for the benefit of people's lives. It was very well produced, very sensitively handled.
I thought it was a really good film, good strong characters. I thought it was really well acted. I found there was a good religious theme running throughout. I loved the bit how it was shot in Hong Kong. It gave a really good backdrop to the film. I thought it made the film really stand out.
I thought from start to end you were on the edge of your seat.
I was impressed at the time and effort that the group were putting into the project. They had a professional attitude, and I found the unique Christian message to be interesting. When I saw the finished film, I thought it looked as if it had been made with a decent budget, when in fact it was a zero budget.
I can't begin to empathise with your pain, but God is here with you, and the fellowship is behind you as well. Playing a minister in The Shadow of Death was a challenging role. I enjoyed it very much. I'm a Christian. I've studied theology at university, and I'm a member of an evangelical church here in the northeast of Scotland.
I found I was able to use my own struggles and my own trials in my faith to help strengthen the character I was playing and to help support Lindsay in the film.
The film is quite dark, definitely darker than previous projects, and there's some disturbing scenes in the film.
In The Shadow of Death, there's quite a few villains in the film, and one of the main villains is Fred Rousseau, and the most exciting thing about creating a character like this was his main objective is chaos, and what he tries to do during the film is undermine the Christian values of the main characters in the film.
You don't have to fear me. Won't God come and rescue you?
My character in The Shadow of Death is Fred Rousseau.
Graham's character. It's not a role that I ever thought I would have seen Graham in. Graham's such a laid-back, jovial type character, and then to see him as effectively a psychotic character. but very, very, very good.
I particularly love the character of Fred Rousseau in The Shadow of Death. He's a total psychotic psychopath that is just such a delight and a joy to watch that character wreaking havoc.
I didn't like Graham's character. I found him absolutely terrifying as it, but he played it really well because he's nothing like that in real life.
And he believes he has enough evidence to destroy you. And he wants me to finish you off.
William was just a completely psychological, mind game. I'd no feelings towards him. In one scene he had a knife about 2 millimeters away from Fred Rousseau's eyeball. It was a man not to be messed with.
The Shadow of Death has some great performances. Stephanie Bruce is great, Stuart Taylor's good, and I myself, I'm not bad as well.
I think it's got a lot really about it that's just excellent. From the acting to the plot itself. The action scenes are really good as well, and the fighting, how it all comes together.
That film was a really exciting film. It was almost like a low-budget Hollywood film because of all the action that takes place, and there's a lot of improvement in the action as well, which is really good because the fight scenes are really exciting to see.
We got closer in with the angles, and the editing was sharper. It looked more professional.
We had this hotel in Thameston that we were shooting in, and it was kind of a group fight. It was two on one, and I thought we absolutely nailed it again. I was right on it. Stuart was right on it too. We just we worked very well. We only had a few takes, and we'd finished the take, so it was very quick, very easy to do, and we looked really powerful. And Graham again nailed the camera work too, so it just worked.
I think my favourite track that I produced for Graham and John William would be for a fighting piece between Graham and Callum in The Shadow of Death in the kitchen. I want to create something energetic, just trying to give a good vibe for the scene itself.
The fight scenes are the most physically demanding of all the sequences that we shoot. There's a lot of backtrack, a lot of retake.
In The Shadow of Death, a few of us received some injuries. John William had a burst lip, which was quite serious. He went to hospital for that.
Oh my! And one time I had to go to the hospital because of a more serious injury, and that's just something that you would expect to happen on occasions, but thankfully it didn't happen too often to anyone in the cast.
And I had a bent pinky, which is still bent to this day. It won the Best Director Award at the Hollywood International Christian Film Festival of New York, and also at that film festival we won the Fan Favourite Award. We also won Honourable Mention at the Glory Reels Film Festival in Detroit, and we've also had showings in the South Underground Texas Film Festival and the Bergenfield Film Festival. So that has been a great success for the film.
Not only did it qualify for 4 film festivals, but we won 3 awards, including Best Director and a Fan Favourite Awards. It was helping us to see that people in other parts of the world were seeing our films.
The film got a great reception with the cast and crew, and obviously in America the viewers loved it there, so I think we made a great film there.
Right now my husband doesn't look so bad.
That's supposed to be an insult? Relax, love. There are better offers on the menu in this place.
When we were making The Shadow of Death, we also made a mockumentary film called Love House.
My favourite MBP film is probably Love House.
Like had a range of different characters. It was like a good concept of them all together.
I really like the whole reality TV kind of idea. I think it's very unusual for a film. And there's a lot of different characters and different personalities in that. There's some definitely disturbing acting from my brother for a start.
Well, for Love House, I play this really over-the-top homosexual character called Albert Costa. It was actually a really enjoyable role.
It's the last day!
I enjoyed filming Love House. The group, they all worked together really well. Well, most of them worked together really well.
Love House was funny. When I watched it, I could tell the actors were having fun. There was one filming evening I was there, and we filmed 10 scenes in one night. And while this was a big undertaking, it was a good laugh.
The cast had good fun. I wouldn't say I had good fun, but I'm pleased with the end result. It had some great characters in it, some great scenes, some very good scenes. I particularly like John Williams' character.
But at the end of the day, it's got a German in it and it's got a Frenchman, and I can't really ask for more than that.
That sounds like a fun question.
Can I pass this to Gustav? Men are not really my forte.
I played this French guy called Roger, and he was a bit of a sneaky player.
Colour's really nice. It suits you.
And what do you think you're doing?
The very first time I met you, I knew we would click. And now I trust you implicitly and feel comfortable and safe whenever I'm with you. Nothing can take that away.
My Dear Love was probably one of my favourites. So I liked the style of it, the fact it was just sort of a letter being narrated. I thought it was shot beautifully as well.
It was my first time acting with Noble Brothers Productions, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it received some success for the whole day it took us to film it.
It was an experimental film which went on to qualify for a film festival in Texas the following year.
Inner Joy of a Broken Heart. It was a really interesting subject matter.
Inner Joy of a Broken Heart went on to qualify for the UK Christian Film Festival the following year. The scene between John McIntosh and Andrew Forbes in that film was definitely a difficult scene to film, especially for the actors.
The character himself is torn between his feelings and his faith, and having to portray that through a film is obviously tough. You know, I'd never played that sort of part before.
How can you say that? We live in the 21st century. Being gay is socially acceptable.
But it's not biblically acceptable.
This was basically my first official film with the Noble Brothers. So I'm basically trying to impress them with my acting, and obviously trying to portray quite a serious character for a serious story. And basically trying to portray it in front of new people was quite difficult.
What you saw in my bedroom was more miserable for me than it was for you. I can't live like that.
It was a new experience for me. I'd never been involved with like a film group before, and everyone was like really nice, and I really enjoyed, you know, playing my first role. It was a bit nerve-wracking though, but once I saw it in the end, it was worth it. So Morris is still quite upset then?
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I just can't get through to him.
I'm from Chicago. I need a bed for a night or two here in Aberdeen. And the first chica that offers me a bed or a couch. Bingo.
At the end of 2011, we made Losers in Love, which was a comedy film that we thought we'd experiment with one or two things. We tried using a couple of different cameras, which proved to be a bit of a school by error, but it gave us a bit of practice for the film projects we then did in 2012. So it proved a worthwhile experience, even though it wasn't very enjoyable to do.
It was really different, obviously, filming with a camera compared to being on stage, but really enjoyable. Quite a steep learning curve, but really good fun as well.
We had a bit of a problem with casting, people coming in and out, but Graham and John William, they worked really hard on adapting the script, and I thought they came up with a good solution, and it was really good.
I actually really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a really good script, and I liked the characters in it. I remember how to keep dyeing my hair for that because it kept fading.
Losers in Love was enjoyable. It's given me the opportunity to meet the crew and the cast, which were very friendly and helped me a lot.
Okay, boys, I want a clean fight.
Well, my first ever night of filming, when I had to film a kissing scene with one of the actors down at the beach in the dark. So that was quite a hilarious experience and something that was definitely a different learning curve for an actress.
The best bit in Losers in Love for me was the fight scene between Martin and I. That's definitely one of our best fight scenes to date. At the start of the year, in 2012, we shot Pit of Despair in the Scottish Highlands.
I think Pit of Despair was my favourite one because it was well acted, it was gripping, and also I thought Aisha's death scene was very effective. I'm a bit morbid in that way.
Storyline's good, but the more that captured me was the camera work. Very much held my interest.
Pit of Despair was just an amazing short, and it had interesting shots and very good acting in it.
But don't pretend that you care. You've waved your cash and success in my face like I'm the loser brother. And as for you and Kelly, that's the final straw.
It has gone on to qualify for 2 film festivals, including one in Boston, and one of the audience members in Boston said it was one of his favourite short films.
I thought it was a very good film. It was a really good storyline. Well, effectively, you had almost like 2 storylines, but you weren't entirely sure where the film was going to take you, which I think was quite cleverly done, considering the premise of a spy is obviously nobody is as they appear to be.
I thought the guys took a very serious topic with the cancer, and I thought the actress, Rebecca, she played it very well, and I thought it was really good.
We shot the film in 3 days. I remember experimenting quite a bit with my filmmaking.
I'm just going to grab a quick shower before we go out.
Okay.
Rebecca's character got kind of put through the mill, and she still came out kind of like strong. Really interesting how they got to film in the hospitals.
Quite like Life of a Spy as well. It was really well done.
A different element with it, with the spy element, but then a serious message throughout it as well. Yeah, I think it's a good film, good writing as well.
Get on the floor now.
How can you do this?
Do what? Our whole marriage has been nothing but work.
It's our most successful short film, having won an award at a film festival in Florida.
You're going to give me the password to the Ribeiro case and access to all your files.
We also shot a film called A New Beginning, which was a 3-minute experimental short film.
Well, I've seen A New Beginning, and about the Chinese girl that moves to Hong Kong to start her modelling career. I thought it was very beautifully filmed, and I loved the time-lapse scene. It was visually pleasing, and it also told a story.
We actually got some filmmaking advice from Hong Kong director Anthony Zito, and he gave us some really good advice, and we put that into practice in the film. I'm quite happy with the filmmaking in A New Beginning, and there's some beautiful shots. Hong Kong's a beautiful city to film in, and it was a privilege. Forever Together is possibly my favourite short film we've shot.
It's a beautiful love story, and you feel the emotions so strongly. You get drawn into it. You really feel for the characters.
My favourite short film is Forever Together.
For me, I really liked the fact that it was filmed, obviously a lot of it in Hong Kong. I thought that was a really different quality to it that some of the other films of the group hadn't had.
I love the way that it goes between black and white and colour. I think it's really effective.
My favourite part is when John William is standing in the rain and thinking to her.
I decided to utilise a lot of the locations that Hong Kong boasts. Some beautiful scenery, some beautiful shots in that film. The film went on to qualify for 2 film festivals, and when I was at one of the film festivals last month, it was received really well, and the festival director said it was a beautiful film, so that was a huge compliment to us.
In 2011 and then 2012, we decided to start making some short films. We began by making a practice film called Bitter Love before going on to do My Dear Love, which qualified for a film festival in America. We then made Inner Joy of a Broken Heart, which qualified for a film festival in London. We then racked up a couple more film festivals with a film we made in the Highlands called Pit of Despair. We followed this up by making an action film called Life of a Spy, and we qualified for 3 film festivals with this one, and we also racked up an award with that. We followed this up by making 2 short films in Hong Kong. We made one called Forever Together, which qualified for 2 film festivals, and we also made A New Beginning, which was filmed with Juju Chan, who is a very famous actress in Hong Kong, and also had some assistance and input from Anthony Zito, one of the most famous directors in Hong Kong. One of our biggest projects that we undertook in 2012 was an action film called Street Fight, which we hoped would qualify again for the Action on Film Festival. And this film was about a guy who was suffering from drug problems and other issues who decided to enter an illegal fighting competition.
Street Fight is a martial arts film, and ever since I was a young teenager, I wanted to shoot a martial arts film. I wanted to star and direct my own martial arts film, and in Street Fight, that was my opportunity.
It's a fantastic project and film to be a part of.
Very well made. The storyline was, it kept you at the edge of your chair the whole way through.
I think it's got a lot really about it that's just excellent. From the acting to the plot itself. The action scenes are really good as well, and the fighting, how it all comes together. And I really also liked the editing and how that's put with the music and how the film flows as a film. I felt it was really professional.
The script was excellent. The acting was good as well. It was a really good film.
I think it was an amazing representation for the martial arts, and the fighting scenes, they were really good.
I would say I'm not a violent person, but I wanted to be hitting with every strike that was going in that film. I thought it was good. I thought it was very professionally made, which wasn't just my impression, but it was also one of its strengths.
The storyline's believable, and the characters are relatable, and also the fighting was choreographed well.
When I watched the film, I saw the benefits of decent equipment and editing. I especially liked the colour correction and lighting that was used.
I really like Street Fight overall as a film. It's very much my kind of film. It's action-packed, the pacing is high. There's like 12 fight scenes in it, and they're all good quality, high quality fight scenes.
Street Fight, it's a really well made movie. Like the action scenes are they're really good, they just look so professional.
They have been edited really, really well.
In particular, everything flows so well, the storyline's quite, it's quite easy to follow, you know what's happening, you can feel for some of the characters as well. The main premise of the film is the fighting scenes. It's so much more well choreographed, paced quite well throughout the film as well, so it gives it a sense of edge as well.
I love Street Fight. Street Fight's one of my favourite films we've done.
This film was quite a gruelling filming experience because there were so many fight scenes that we had to do and had to be up to the standard that Graham was trying to reach with the fight choreography, because we were hoping that this film would be our most successful action film, which it's proved to be.
It was a significant time commitment in the cold winter months, but overall it paid off in film festival success.
Filming the fight scenes outdoors around the back of the McRobert building when it felt like -5 degrees all the time, even though it was supposed to be close enough to the middle of summer. Yeah, not sure how that one works. Wait a minute, it's Scotland.
Even though, you know, some nights it was really cold, I was quite happy to do sound and lighting. I was a camera operator for 1 or 2 bits in Street Fight. Once I got into it, I did really enjoy it. There were times that I felt bad that I was wrapped up in a coat and a scarf and everybody else was freezing cold.
I remember it was freezing the night that we were filming because by the end of it my lips had turned blue.
I enjoy doing the fight scenes. The person on set who knows some grappling, it was interesting getting to show that to Ruben and choke him a little bit, mostly for his enjoyment.
I know that I did Shotokan karate for many years when I was younger, and applying it into like fighting scenes within the films, you know, it gives it a sense of application, you know.
I enjoyed the fights. It was very well choreographed. Having done some martial arts before, I know basic moves, how to defend myself, but in a film scenario, it was good to get in there and do some real fight scenes there. I enjoy fighting different people in them and learning new ways to do fight scenes and fight moves.
Even though some of the cast didn't have any formal training at all, they picked up the moves very quickly and were very convincing in the moves that they were asked to do.
The fight scenes came out very well. There's good variety. We experimented with a group fight.
Really well done. The choreography was brilliant, and the action sort of kept me on the edge of my seat.
Graham's very good actually fighting opposite Graham. Was the first time I've ever done that. Was good. He was a little bit worried or concerned that he might hurt me in one of the kicks that he had to do. But with a bit of encouragement, it was, you know, I made it clear to him that it's fine, you know, kick like the way you would usually kick. Yeah, he definitely rose to the challenge.
I remember kicking Shona Knox full force in the chest. That's a particularly good shot, but she asked me to do it, so I obliged.
I really enjoy working alongside the different actors and actresses and all the different fight scenes as well, which we hadn't done in the previous film, so that was really cool.
I remember the moment, and it was very funny when John McIntosh tried to jump on a bush, and he tried his best, but it was really funny.
It took quite a while just to do one part of my monologue because I couldn't get the lines out or there was background noises.
Sometimes our mistakes. Simon, we're always going to be there for you. Oh.
Well, for Street Fight I did an Irish accent, but I'm going to stop that now because I know Graham doesn't like it. We're charging our subscribers a small fee per match, and there'll be a slightly larger fee for those who don't regularly subscribe.
It's so much more fun playing a nasty character. I know it's a cliche to say that, but it is so much more fun to play a nasty character than a nice guy.
I actually really enjoy being typecast as a villain. It's quite liberating because I get to say and do things that I would never actually normally get to say or do. It's a nice feeling because I don't have the guilt afterwards. It's like, oh, I totally shouldn't have said that.
There was one evening where we were using a different tripod and it was too short for what we were trying to do, so we decided to prop it up with a cream egg box.
Street Fight qualified for another 3 film festivals, the Action on Film Festival in California, the Portobello Film Festival in London, and also the Yellow Fever Film Festival in Belfast, so reaching good heights, yep.
And it's also received a nomination for Best Action Film. So I'm glad to see that the film festival judges appreciate the film. Street Fight has been well received at the film festivals. The Action on Film International Film Festival said that it was a great film with great acting and great fight scenes. So that was encouraging. And a BBC professional at the Deep Fried Film Festival said that the film was very good and it contained some very good fight scenes and also the sound editing was good. Booze Culture was a film we made to raise awareness for underage drinking, and it was an important film to us.
The film was very, very sensitively handled, and hopefully it will bring home the consequences.
And it's also, it was good like being part of something that promoted a good message to youth.
That it will open people's eyes to what drink can actually do to people.
It was fun playing somebody who was completely opposite to me.
I think he's checking you out, Karen.
Yeah, right.
I thought he was a poor father. His parenting skills were, well, he had abnegated them. Basically, he left the authority to his wife in the household. The man should be the head of the house, and that he wasn't was so obvious. It was like a parallel world. I was playing somebody who was my opposite.
I really enjoyed Booze Culture. It's well made and there's some really good shots in it. There's a shot where my hand just closes around a bottle of vodka, and I think that's a really good shot.
It was good to see how the scenes were filmed as well and how it was transformed in editing.
I think one of the things about working with NBP over the past 3.5 years is that it's proved to be a memorable experience for a number of reasons. Not only have we become such a successful film group, but we've also worked with a number of interesting characters.
We've got a great cast and crew overall. The crew especially, very reliable and very good. We've got Tom Hislop, who's a very talented sound recordist.
I am the chief sound recordist for the group. I've gained significant experience since coming on board, and I hope that this has contributed to the quality of the productions.
Both Hannah Mackay and Ruben Mackay have helped out with lighting and camera operator duties when necessary. They both do great jobs.
In a group like we are, where it's a smaller group, everybody has to pitch in and help out. So for me, you know, bit of sound work here, bit of lighting there, bit of camera operation, really doesn't bother me.
I thoroughly enjoyed working for Noble Brothers Productions. Very professional, very much attention to detail, and great fun.
Well, I thought they were really great people to work with. I thought they were very professional.
I've enjoyed filming with NBP. Over the past 3.5 years, I've met many folk, and some of them have become really good friends. Of course, I've known John William and Graham prior to NBP starting, and they've been good friends for a long, long time. But the film group, it's been a great source of entertainment, joy, and also sometimes hard work.
I found they were very professional and organised, and I found it was a lot of fun as well. Like when we were filming the outtakes of some of the scenes, like it was so funny, things that happened. But when it came down to the actual filming, it was serious business.
We've worked with over 200 people over the years. Some have been better than others. Some we preferred working with over others. I certainly have had mixed relationships with certain people, but I've also had very good relationships with a lot of people as well.
Cast were very welcoming, the crew were very welcoming.
And of course there was a wide variety of folks to work with, folks from all different walks of life.
It was the little details, you know, like the camera angles and the way they waited for the light to be right, you know, and like you wouldn't stop filming until everything was just perfect and they got the right shot.
You need hard work, you need perseverance, you need motivation, and you need a good group of people to help you make a film.
Graham and I have managed to build up some really good friendships, which has been quite a good thing, and we've also been pleased to have a number of Christians working with us at different times, because this has been quite an encouragement for us with the purpose that we've tried to promote Christianity with some of the films that we've done, which has been one of our main successes in the films that we've managed to put together.
Nine AM. You're bang on time. Pathetic. Pathetic.
It's what gives this plan its great edge.
No, it doesn't.
You deliberately forgot to say the line just so you get a slap again, didn't you?
Christmas bash.
Oh aye, Christmas bash.
It's Marnie and Rachel with my mother.
Golden boy! Golden boy!
Safe. I've been beaten up.
Your courageous brother and his friends are going to be.
Cut.
It's alright, cool, wait, just keep going. Yeah, she seems to be. I think the girls are good, but hey, who
Large pepperoni meat feast, yes.
Focus will be on making a good impression. Sorry, it's not.
And then she'll come over up here.
When does Rachel get back?
Not till 2. Got this. When she was sleeping, I woke up.
Don't slurp.
His boyfriend. The beauty of this is I'm filming myself in the middle now. So, juggle!
Doesn't seem to be anyone in. I'll take one more.
I'm just a girl looking for a good time.
To make sure that you're in chip shop chip.
Come on, man. What are you doing in this whole place?
What? What? This one. Right there. Right here. Right.
Where's the man?
A man?
The battle line's drawn, pal. Stop laughing.
You're going to be out of here, girl. ASAP.
And that could possibly create a serious scandal for this latest project.
Oops, sorry. You are just that.
Oh. The guy that killed Lindsay's family got another criminal to hunt us that I was sure was locked up to hunt us down. That is so bad.
So I suggest you start playing ball.
I've got a filing gun there.
Why would God let me get beaten?
Good job.
To drop me off.
Sorry, Martin. You sure you don't own one?
Hear of strong women.
Trying to locate a new law firm building. Law firm building.
You are right there, Vegas. I'm Vegas, but Caroline has chosen to stay in the kitchen where she belongs because she is a woman. That's where women belong, in the kitchen. Aren't you guys?
Nice.
Yes!
A big chunk.
Wait, no, 41 right now.
Oh yeah.
I just looked to the camera, sorry.
Action.
We've got to keep this one under control. I'm surprised your husband doesn't ask for permission to speak. I told you to put that on site!
See my win. Make all right here, and you just go and make me.
3, 2,
You're right.
3, 3, action. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, 1, action.
After my bleak patch, things look bleak.
Which promises to be a belter.
Graham's involved with some dodgy DJ. Remember, so just we keep rambling on.
As all women do.
Sorry, we're going to Merlin, aren't we?
This is what I'm working with.
My husband usually trusts my judgment.
Silly man.
You then do your line, Graham. 3, 2, 1, action.
The scheme is applicable to all employees of the council.
Take 007.
James Bond. Again, I will look at you in disgust. Action. Excuse